All right. We are back with the GR-MiFi cast. How do you guys like this music?
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat. So the last couple episodes that we had, I've been stealing the music that I use for another podcast that I produce for. And so I've been hoping that my client doesn't get mad at me, because I was like, I'm going to get a new theme song. I just got so many other things to do. But thank you for coming in today. Lula.
Yes.
What is your last name?
It's Mbero, but I like to go by my middle name, so like Lula Jama.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Who else do we have today? We look like we have another man over there. Introduce
Musa
yourself.
Dove, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee.
You said Musa Dove.
Musa Dove, yes.
Like the bird.
Like the bird, like the chocolate, like the soap. Yeah.
That was kind of smooth the way you said it.
I can hear myself good. I know it's like really loud in y'all's headphones, but it sounds good. I like how like this level.
This level? Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. And we got another one. Who else?
The one and only Avius Cruz. Yeah, just here to vibe out and meet some people. Yeah.
So there's a couple people here that's been for their, it's not exactly their first time. So obvious is your second time. We recorded this, last week, right?
Yeah, it was last week, Monday.
Yep. Okay. And Musa's been here hundreds of different times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Too many to count.
It's been a year by now?
Yeah, I'd say a full year now.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just start with you, because you have to go. But can you tell everybody about who you are, what kind of creative work that you do, and what are the things that inspire you?
Okay. Starting creatively, I'd say I'm more of a creative martial artist is like a good way to put it, because I'm always looking at people who are better than me in all different types of fields and putting it together in what I'm doing currently. Mm-hmm. So I came to GR-MiFi. My initial introduction was the GR Film Fest. I entered in with two of my friends. We shot a 24-hour film. It turned out great. We won an award. GR-MiFi won an award. We met there. I'm pretty sure I met Will. I met some other people there. Who else? Ebe.
The original crew.
Yeah.
I
met a lot of people. And from that point forward, I was like, okay, cool. Creatives of color in the city. Let's get to networking. And I just went from there to there. So film festival, straight to MiFi. And in my time in between, I've always spent doing other projects. I just like art. I'm just an appreciator of art. So it doesn't really matter. Music, visual, physical, it doesn't really matter to me. Hopefully I answered your question. I feel like I kind of went around it, but that was my initial introduction to MiFi, and who I am. We can get more into that as we go down.
Okay. So obviously you got some film chops, because we were rivals. Yeah. Fighting for the 24-hour film trophy. What was the category that you won? I couldn't remember.
Best editing.
Yeah. Okay. And we won best director. You guys' film was actually really good. I do remember. It was the chip one, right? Mm-hmm. With the implanted on your forehead, like the computer chip.
So basically, plot was they had like fringes. It was 3 words they give us. If y'all don't know about the GR Film Fest, they give you 3 words. One's like an item, one's like a place, and then I think something related to GR. So ours was water, chip, and fringe, which is like, okay, rivers, water. It was kind of out there of what you could do. We talked about chips, chip off the old block, whatever the case. We took microchip, glued it to my head, made me to be sort of a person programmed within the system. So the chip represents me, my mundane, everyday. If you watch the film, it's very obvious. And we called it the boiling point. So it starts off simple, ice cold in a pot. And through the shooting of the film, it starts very cool shots, and as it progresses, it gets warm. The ice eventually melts and reaches that boiling point, and the character reaches their boiling point at the end. So that was the initial idea of how it progressed all the way up into the end, and it came out pretty good. Of course, we could have shot better. We barely even knew about shutter speed and all these other things, but that's besides the point. The initial idea made its way and was understood very clearly, so we enjoyed it. Yeah, we did enjoy it.
It's crazy to think about how far we both came from since then.
Yeah.
Because I would say I've been working and doing videos and stuff, but like I wouldn't say that I was a professional by any means at that time. Do you feel like you're a professional in your work now?
Most
No.
definitely, because although, like I said, martial artists, although some attributes might be A plus or C minus and then B plus here, putting it all together, I say I'm going for that S tier candidate, but I say I'm like A tier strong candidate to get a lot of different types of creative works done, whether it be audio, visual. I can put things together, and if I can't do it, I feel like I can find capable people to get the job done.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I feel like you're a great leader, and then you also you communicate well, and it seems like you can work with other people very well. That's one of the things I noticed about you immediately when I first met you. I was like, I felt like we're on the very similar like wavelength. You also kind of remind me of myself in the sense that I feel like you're like I call myself a basement rat, like in a way that like you probably at home most of the time, just cooped up in your room,
Homebody.
working on something.
Always working on something.
And that's one thing that you've been blessing us today with is music. You've been kind of hitting the ones and twos all day.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about your passion for music and the way that you create music?
Passion for music is my passion for creativity. I got to say it started there. How I create music, I pull directly from my life. So if you go through, listen to music I make, or even just the mixes I do, you'll understand that this part of my life, I found this genre, I'm really feeling this genre. So that's all I'm going to be mixing up. I'm going to be taking rhythms and souls and life from this parts of the world or this time era, whatever the case may be. And that love for audio and just the enjoyment of how music brings people together is what made me want to step into film. It's what made me want to pursue myself creatively in different fields, because I realized the love that I have for that, other people got it for podcasting. Other people got it for magazine design, modeling, whatever the case may be. So it started there for me, and I got to thank my family because they were putting me on good music young. And starting with that young, it was very easy to tell these are timeless songs, this is timeless audio, and I always wanted to be one that could create timeless music. So I realized the only way I can do that is if I do it all the time. It gets so good and so unique and so distinct that nobody can say, oh yeah, I made that. No, I'll always be the one that made that.
And your music is definitely amazing, and I would love, I don't know if you have your phone on you, but if you could like airdrop me a song that we can play at some point during this for others to hear. Yeah, man, you're also like, I mean, so you do film, you do music. One thing I also know about you, it seems like you have a huge travel bug. What about some of your recent journeys have like changed or sparked your creativity into different places?
My recent journeys, when you're young, my mom's from Jamaica. So when you're young and you go on a family trip and like we go to Jamaica, it's so grand, otherworldly. But as of recent, I realize that it feels like I'm just going in my backyard. Although I might not know the name of that food, or I might not speak the language. We're all doing the same thing. We're all going somewhere, meeting the people we want to meet, having fun, certain activities that are fun to the region, whatever the case may be. So as of recent, it's really been, I go to a place and I realize it's very similar to the place I just came from, rather than so different. When I was young, that's how it was then. So as of recent, that travel bug just made sense, and it made me really want to feel within myself more, like know exactly who I am and what I don't want to be around. And that travel bug hit me. It's like, if I go there, they're going to be doing that because it's just ingrained within the culture. You don't have to ask. You don't have to try too hard to find it. It might just be. And obviously, certain places like Japan, they're very respectful, very caring in nature, and very, organized. And that, I like that. And I liked how it starts young and it carries for when you're old. And a lot of cultures have that. But that's just one place I went to that I realized when I go to fast food, I'm expecting to be disrespected. I'm not expecting to be respected. There, it's the complete opposite. It's a shock to me if somebody treats me with bad service, which I feel like it should be here, considering, the nation that we got. But is what it is. Can't complain. Just play the game, find your way, build your lane.
Right. And see, and you always rapping. You always rapping, man. Man, Musa. I've always appreciated your spirit, your creative energy, man. You always motivate me when you're around. Cause when I feel like when I'm around you, man, I gotta work harder, man. But Aves, or just, I don't want to say your name again wrong. So Lula, do you have any questions for Musa? Do you anything popped in your mind? If you guys have any questions,
how do you keep the drive going? Like, when you're feeling like not motivated to, or when you have like that creative block, how do you get that going again?
Different strokes, different folks. So for different creative arts, I have a different way of getting past that block. For music, it's very simple. I just keep making something until it's good. And you're probably like, well, how do you start making again? I have an easy way of doing it, so all I have to do is like get some tea, and I just calm down for a second, just keep it going. But I'd say daily process, having things you do every day, so you make it unreasonable to fail and not do that thing. Like if I want to be strong and I lift weights every day, there's a low chance of me being weak after lifting weights every day. So I try to make it so I can just have momentum to propel myself into music making or into video making, because I'm already thinking about it. It's already fresh on the mind.
All right. Good. That's a dope answer, man. A dope answer. And sorry if I like tuned out for a second because we had some folks jumping in. So you said you have different ways of restarting that process for you. So for music, you said, I might have to take some tea or something like that. But what if you say if you're trying to make a video, what would be your process of trying to like?
Videos are a lot more mentally tasking because it's a lot of different disciplines putting together. So I do recommend taking breaks, but it's strategic breaks. It's like, I don't really believe in the idea of a creative block because what's blocking you? There's time, and then you got to put effort in that time, and then you get a result. Whether it's a good or bad result is up to you, how you rate that result. But as long as I can find a way to keep going and pushing through, I'm going to get some result, and that creative block will be done. There'll be no creative block. So if you need to take some time for your mind to recover, rest, like an exercise, creative exercises, different ways of thinking, give your mind, rest, stretch it out, then come back and attack the goal. That's how I would take like a video project break. Like I do a long film thing and I'm uploading all the footage. That's going to take however long, and, creating proxies. And that's just a lot of time for me to plan and sit and just kind of formulate. So I don't believe in the idea of a creative block. I just think there's downtime and there's active time. What you do with your downtime is going to affect your active time. And then once you're doing your active time, you execute, you get your result, on to that next thing. Just keep the momentum going. Keep momentum going. Keep building momentum.
It's funny, man. Every time I talk to Musa, because at the same time, I feel like I'm a pretty creative individual, and I'm pretty determined. But I feel like I talk to a genius. You talk like a genius person to me. I feel like your brain is just computing at a different level a lot of the time.
I feel like I talk like a simplest. Like I try to keep things very simple to the point.
But I don't know, man. It's just something about yourself that's just the sureness of your spirit is just very inspiring. Well, and so I strive more to be like Musa.
Thank you.
Avis, do you have any questions maybe for Musa?
Yeah. Do you think like organization, like just being more organized, helps a lot with not having a creative block, like how you were saying, like just being more like planning it out throughout the day?
Most definitely, but organization, like perfection, can be the killer of my creativity sometimes. I'm very messy at general nature, so I have to tell myself, organize, clean up these things, get these things right. So I definitely think it helps. But in terms of being too organized or being too focused on the particular format in which you do things can hinder your creativity. That's why I'm able to keep flowing, because it's like you make a video, you're going for this, didn't really come out, but you're the one who's going to give it that judgment at the end of the day. So don't be too organized. Don't be too focused on being perfect. Just be focused on continuing the art of like doing it, just getting that consistent skill, leveling up.
Okay. What's up, man? Keep going.
Sorry. So you'd say like just keep pushing, and just it's gonna come out how you want it. You just got to keep pushing forward.
It's like a whetstone, just like keep sharpening the knife down, slowly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, and I would say like, and that's another saying that people say, like, just keep showing up. So it's not even just like, say if you have a project and it's done by, it needs to be done by a certain time, and it's like you're not making the progress that you want, but as long as every day you're doing a little bit, like shoot, if you only wrote, a half a page of your script, at least you wrote half a page, and you did more than you did yesterday.
Yeah, that's like a scar. It's like a scar or like a tattoo on your like spirit or heart. You can't take that hard work away. You might not get that result you want, but that hard work, those hours you put in, you can't take that away. That's on your soul forever. That's on your mind forever.
Yeah, I like that. Well, man, Musa, I really appreciate you for coming in and telling your story, man.
Appreciate you for having me.
So, I mean, you can be free to leave, but, we're moving on to Ms. Lula here.
I'm going to stay in. I'm going to airdrop some stuff, but I'm going to stay in.
Okay, cool. So, Miss, I feel like I said your name wrong, but.
No, you said it right. Did you forget?
I just have anxiety. I be saying people's name wrong all the time. So, Ms. Lula, can you tell me about your creative journey and what inspires you?
So obviously, like I've always liked the creative world, like film and stuff like that. So I went to film school, and then I did like an internship afterwards. But I found myself not getting like much, like every time I applied to a creative place and whatnot. So in a way, I kind of just like laid back and kind of just did other stuff. So there was like a moment where like all the creative like stuff kind of just was like in a back burner type of thing. So, and then I think it was like after like last year, after meeting Messi and Kenny, obviously, and then it kind of just like I was like, oh, kind of like how to spark my like love for it again and interest for it again. So but I think what inspires me is like storytelling, because if there is something that I would do with film, it'd be like documentaries. I love like real life storytelling, stories that inspire and stories that has like to do with change and stuff like that. So like along those lines.
Okay. So, have there been like any documentaries or autobiographies you've seen recently that really inspire you, or may have like made you like I could tell a story like this, or like is there anything that you've seen recently?
Not as of recent, but I do have documentary. Like I know there's this documentary. I probably forgot the name, but I know like the feeling is like instilled in me. I think it had to do with it was like a documentary about a war, like people that were like struggling and stuff. The storytelling and just the strength of the people, and just it was just amazing. And also another documentary that I really liked is the Serena Williams documentary, just telling her I think it was like on HBO, her story, and then when I watch those documentaries, I don't just watch like just listen like the stories. I also like look at the style of the way it was filmed and documented, and the shots and everything about it is amazing. So stuff like that, yeah.
Okay. So have you had any film projects under your belt yet?
Not personal. Usually it's just the ones that I did with school, or like the ones that I did with the internship. But other than that, yeah. But basically, because I think, I kind of just put them in the back burner and just started like doing life. But if there were to be something that I would, but like with a team or other people who are creative, I think I just didn't want to do it alone type of thing. Right.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work to do, but it's intimidating.
But stuff like that. So
most definitely. Okay, sweet. Well, I'm really glad to have you here. GR-MiFi, like it's the work that we do here is majority is documentary, and it's about capturing stories and telling people's stories. And so like I was mentioning before, their parent company, Grandstand Pictures, they're doing a film based on a city within a city, which is a book, and that covers like it has so many stories. That book, we actually have a copy of it here over in this bookshelf, but we only were able to cover almost like only like 4 or 5 stories within that book, but that book has over 50 stories in it.
Oh, wow.
And so it's one of the initiatives of GR-MiFi to cover everything in that book.
Okay.
And so they're doing like mini documentaries as well on top of the documentary, the main full feature documentary that we're doing. So one of the mini documentaries that I was tasked to produce and shot and direct is based on we call it the Chicken Shack story. And I don't want to get too deep in the weeds of the story, but it's ultimately a story of about a family's business that also was their legacy that was taken away from them by the state, by the city of Grand Rapids. And so how that family was affected by that and what they're trying to do to rebuild, but also like kind of just like generational strength and resilience. And so we're pretty much like, I think like 80% done shot it, 80% done with shooting that. We probably have 2 more shoots with that one as well. I think we've talked about it a little bit with Kenny. But if you're really interested in documentary work, we'd love to hear your opinion on what we have so far.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah.
And so we are just really passionate about community and documenting people's stories. And so we're really happy to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there a time you said you're trying to get all the stories in the you said 50 stories or 50 books?
There's over like 50 stories.
So you guys, and then you mentioned that you're going to do all of those 50 stories?
So the goal is to eventually cover everything that's in the book.
Okay.
But we won't be able to do that in a feature film. In the feature film, we're just trying to do we're doing like the most, we're doing the things that we think most stand out to a broader, to a certain type of theme, and to what we're trying to say with the movie.
Yeah.
But we also, we do want people to go read it themselves. But the book itself is not necessarily like a easy read either. Okay. So the other documentaries that we're doing are going to be great pieces of educational material for people in the sense that it'll be more digestible than the book. But also we can essentially teach kids our own Black history and show this in schools and possibly all around the state. I mean, all around the nation. Yeah. And so it's one of the goals of this place for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And so we're getting closer to the end, and so what I like to do is when we have new people, I like to ask them, what is your 3-month goal and what is your 6-month goal? If you were, we hope to continue to have you here, but we ask you these questions because we like to have a community of artistic accountability. So we want to help you every step of the way as much as possible to reach those goals. So I'll start with whoever, maybe Nola or Musa, if you give me a 3-month goal and then a 6-month goal.
You want to start first?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. 3 months. Once I have to spin back to an earlier point of momentum and creative blocks. When you're dealing with creativity, you're dealing with the infinite void of options. There's so many infinite things you could do. But give yourself a deadline, help things along. So every month dropping a new project, musical project. So probably 15 plus tracks, all produced, mixed, mastered, do the artwork. So it's like a full creative cycle of something. So that's my next 3-month goal. Of course, I have smaller life things in there, but in terms of just staying with that good momentum, that's one that I keep up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you said 6 months?
Yep, 6 months.
I've been getting more into audio engineering and sound design and sound effects. So licensing sound effects, intros, outros for podcasts, more some music that's sync licensable for TV, movies, things of that nature. But getting deeper into audio weeds and just letting myself flourish.
Okay. Sounds nice. All right.
So is this like within the creative stuff or just in general?
I like to say creative.
Okay. Well, because I haven't really thought much about it, like the 3 month or 6 month. But well, now that I'm here and you know, getting to know everybody and talking with everybody, hopefully like 3 months, let's say, just getting immersed back into like the film stuff and just getting to know everybody in the creative and just, you know, making something out of like GR-MiFi and this meetings and stuff. So hopefully I could be a part of that as well.
Reasonable.
6 months, hopefully to see God, I never think that far.
Yeah, I know it's kind of hard. I mean, we can help you drum something up. I mean, so like, I mean, you could say 6 months, like be within you could be in your first credit for a video.
Yeah, that sounds like something. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put that as a goal for you.
Perfect.
And so we actually like track these. We write them down. We have a chart of everybody's goals.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And so now that we're getting closing to the end, as I pull up this track for Musa, I forgot to ask Musa or Aves, do you have any questions for Lula here?
Yes, I do. Stepping outside of documentary. Can't even say that word.
Documentary?
Let me try one more time. Stepping outside of documentaries, what is another field that you want to get into film-wise? And real quick, Dave, I don't know if you want to play like that track has cussing in it, so I'll send you another one.
Okay, yeah. Send me another one.
But outside of documentaries, what would you try to get into?
I remember when I was interning, I was like doing like editing.
Yeah.
But I only know basic editing. But I would definitely like I enjoyed doing that. So I really would like learn more like in that aspect and skill and like level it up type of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you think that like editing is probably one of your favorite things like to do? Like
it's not I think like cinematography is my top one.
Okay.
Yeah. And then editing is just something that I'm willing to learn, and I kind of like it. I like putting things together and just, you know, all that kind of stuff. But cinematography would be number one.
Cinematographer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a funny thing. When I first started doing film, I wanted to get into cinematography. And then while I was working with Grandstand Pictures, I was shadowing their cinematographer. But then I was doing so much around the place that they just made me shadow their like one of their like main producers. I was like, I don't want to shadow the producer. They're like, I'm here for cinematographer. They're like, what? Well, they're like, you have your own company, right? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, you're gonna need to learn everything. So I'm just like, okay, that makes sense. But so is this the track right here?
Yeah, and this is like off Richter this is probably one of 3 tracks that sound like this. Most of the other stuff's R&B, reggae, hip hop, world music, but this one's like R&B and alternative.
Okay.
So my friend, he plays guitar, and so it was a nice little Midwest alternative vibe. We did something nice with it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's check it out. Well, I'm going to play this out as an outro, but do you guys like to plug anything, social medias, websites, anything, work you're doing in the future?
Well, this whole time you've been calling me Aves, Dave.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No. But my name is Avius. I do trying to get into like film, cinematography. My name is Avius Cruz Films on Instagram, or just Avius Cruz on all social media. If you need to hit me up for anything.
Okay, Musa, you want to plug?
Yeah, you can Google me, Musa Dove. You can also Google VUUR181. One more time, VUUR181.
Okay. And Lula.
I can plug in my Instagram. I just have to. I don't remember the.
Okay. Well, you look that up.
Yeah.
You guys can follow us at GR-MiFi at Instagram. You can also follow me at Matt Ethnic Film on Instagram as well. And then I believe YouTube as well. GR-MiFi on YouTube and Matt Ethnic on YouTube.
Yeah. So you know, anybody who has projects and wants like, you know, people to help and stuff. My Instagram is LulaJM2_.
All right. Well, once again, thank you, Lula and Musa, for joining us today. And I'm going to play this track by Musa titled As One.
Open your soul together as one. One. We are one. One. Together under the sun. One. We are one. Together we're under the sun. One. Don't go with the hating on love. Don't go separating the touch.